Hi, welcome to my TV show called Math, Science, and Ethical Living, a show designed to swiftly transform this world, to bring in the solar age. We can do better than what the Egyptians have done to transform this country over the issue of economic justice. So, for the first half hour of this show, I'll be talking about economic justice. In the second half hour of this show, which will be seen in Brooklyn and in Queens, I'll be spending the first 5 minutes on a summary of what I'll be talking this half hour. And then the rest of the half hour, I'll be talking about math, one of the most important ideas in math and science, which is constant rates. And I'll be doing it without any preparation. Let's see what comes out. I know it pretty well. So, to get started on economic justice, the question is, you can ask people, you can go up to people and say, may I get your opinion on a vital economic question? Most people who are free will say, okay, what's the question? But you could just say, may I get your opinion on an important question? And pause. And then those who are open will say, okay, what's the important question? Or the people might say, well, what? Ask about what the question is. Then you could say on a vital economic issue. And the vital economic issue is economic justice. So then you could pose a question. The question is, how can we get $500 billion yearly for American renewable energy independence? You could pause, or you could continue and say, without taking a penny away from anyone. And I went to this Earth Day thing on April 22nd, 2011, and all these people who are supposedly activists, nobody knew about Dennis Hayes, who was the founder of Earth Day. Amazing. And they didn't either. They were baffled. How can you get $500 billion yearly for renewable energy independence without taking a penny away from anyone? And the answer is, it could be the other side of this thing. Here it is. We can require the rich to weatherize their homes and invest in renewable energy independence. We can give them a choice, you know. A 10% pre-tax on the income of the top 10 to 15%, even up to 20%, would bring in over $500 billion every year. But they don't have to pay this pre-tax if they would do the right thing, which they ought to be doing anyway, which is to weatherize their own homes and invest in renewable energy. They can even make a fortune. They love to speculate and pull down the economy, the top people. So let them speculate in something that's really needed. We don't need oil, coal, or natural gas. We can leave it in the ground. You know, with $500 billion a year, we can do so much for renewable energy. But before I get into that, I can turn this sign over. Well, we can get rid of unemployment. We could resolve the climate crisis. We could have energy security, no longer depending on foreign oil. We can end poverty and especially unbridled greed. If we're united for economic fairness, we can solve all those problems. And the way to get it united is a very simple way. All it requires is a 1-1000 citizen networks. We can unite swiftly that way. And most people don't know what that means even. These activists that I met at Earth Day, easily and swiftly, just get 10 new people in a day who do likewise. Then in 8 days, America could be united for economic justice. You can do it in 8 hours by taking, go to my website, which I'll put up. Oh, maybe I can just put it up now. Why not? It's back here someplace. Let's go through these signs. Here's a website. You don't need the 3, or you could use it as a different leaflet. But the main leaflet is on dkseed@gmail.com. You get an email back automatically. You can send my email to at least 10 of your contacts willing to do likewise. And then you can phone each one and tell them they got an email and that they can do it in the next hour. If they did it in the next hour, the same thing that you did, email 10 people and call on the phone, then in 8 hours you could have 100 million people in the 8th hour. In the 9th hour, the whole world, 1 billion people, requiring the rich in all the countries to do the right thing by weatherizing their own homes and the homes of others. And then they could share in the energy savings of the other people who they help invest in. 50-50 or 60-40. So they're not going to lose anything, but they will create enormous amount of jobs. And that would be really more than a trickle down. Right now they're trickling down filth on the people, the rich. And we got to replace those Republicans who are in the hands of the oil companies, in the pockets of the rich. It's a disgrace what the Republicans are doing, trying to take the money away from food stamps from the poor, and all these enormous, beautiful projects from the middle class, and not take a penny and give the rich more money. It's unseemly. They have enough money. We don't have to take a penny away. Require the top 10 to 20% to invest every year $500 billion for American renewable energy independence. And we can elect lawmakers who will mandate, either give the rich a choice or the well-off a choice. Either you pay a pretax of 10% of your income, which they're not going to do, or do the right thing and weatherize your house and solarize your house and invest in renewable energy. And they can make fortunes. That's the future. Let's build the solar age now. You know, it doesn't require what we did during World War II, which we were 24/7. We focused completely. Right now we have 9 companies to talk a little bit of what could be done. We have 9 companies in this country at maximum capacity to making these windmills, wind generators, to make our electricity in the Great Plains. There's enough wind on the Great Plains. These are old figures to, 4 times over for any 4 or 5 states in the Great Plains. Each one of them can make a tera-kilowatt hour every year. Well, we only need 4 tera-kilowatt hours to supply our electricity. And so we don't need coal. We can leave it in the ground for future generations to use if there ever should be a blackout of the sun. We can drill into the earth 10 feet down. The rich got these grounds. I heard Stephen Chu, the Secretary of Energy, claim it was a reasonable, good thing to do, 10 feet down, to put in pipes that go to a heat pump, because 10 to 12 feet down, the temperature is always about the same, about 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So when it gets 70, 80, 90 degrees, the difference in temperature between 40 and 90, you can make cool through a heat pump. In the winter, when it gets from 40 down, when it goes down to 10, 20 below Fahrenheit, 0 Fahrenheit, you can make heat from the difference in temperature through a heat pump. And the rich got enormous grounds. Let them invest in geothermal energy 10 to 12 feet down. And then we can drill 1, 3, 5 miles down. The oil companies know how to do it. They do it all the time for oil. Let them do it for geothermal energy. Down in the earth, you got deep down molten lava. Heat 3, 4 miles would be about 300 degrees Fahrenheit. You could put water in and make steam that could drive turbines that make electricity. So there's two geothermal things that could be done. That's why they call it part of renewable energy. Then there's the tides. But getting back to wind generation, which I was talking about, but there are many other aspects of economic justice which I'm going to get to. Right now, we're talking about $500 billion a year to build American renewable energy independence, to create it. So I gave you 2 geothermal ideas, and then there's the electricity that can be made from photovoltaics, turning light voltaics into electricity. Well, they call that solar cells, which is coming down. But the second idea, to make renewable energy more competitive than coal, gas, or oil, which are called fossil fuels, to make it more competitive, we can put, if we unite it into, okay, let's get back to, so if you email DKC without the 3, at gmail.com, you'll get back this leaflet right here. This leaflet right here, which I can maybe summarize to you or talk about it. So it gets back automatically to economic justice. Talks about 3 things. The first I've just talked about, which is basically $500 billion a year without taking a penny away from the top 10 to 20% by mandating a pretax that they don't have to pay if they were to weatherize their homes and invest in American solar energy, American renewable energy. We can replace the congressman through 1-1000 citizen networks. Get 10 people in a week who do likewise the following week. Then you have your 1-1000 citizen network. And in 8 weeks, 100 million people. In the 8th week, the 9th week, the whole world, 1 billion people could be united to require the rich in all the countries to weatherize their homes and invest in solar energy, renewable energy. They can make fortunes, and that would create jobs. It would end unemployment. It would solve the climate crisis. It would end energy insecurity, relying on the sun and the earth, geothermal. It would end poverty, and would beginning the end of unbridled greed. We can require the rich to weatherize their own homes and invest in renewable energy independence. We could be an example for the rest of the world. It's a simple little thing. So let's be